About 80% of the total volume of goods traded globally use ships for transportation. Therefore, ocean shipping is a very integral part of the supply chain for most industries. Transshipment hubs are crucial for the shipping industry. Consider this: if cotton is to be exported from Nagpur in India to Bangladesh, it moves via rail to Nhava Sheva port on the west coast of India and then sent via ocean transport to Bangladesh's port of Chittagong. But this is not a direct route. It has to move via transshipment hubs like Port of Colombo in Sri Lanka or the Port of Singapore. This results in a much longer transit time and higher costs for importers in Bangladesh. On the other hand, it affects the competitiveness of India's exports. Also, in the absence of a large transshipment port in India, international shipping lines like Maersk, Hapag-Lloyd and CMA CGM, which carry goods from the US, EU and other countries, do not unload the Bangladesh-bound goods at the Indian ports but route it through transshipment ports like Singapore. As per estimates, Indian ports lose around $200 million to $220 million in potential revenues each year on transshipment handling of cargo, either originating at or destined for India. Now, Kerala's Vizhinjam port, which has been in the news recently, can mean big business for India. Before we get into that, let's understand why shipping companies need transshipment hubs. Why are transshipment hubs important for shipping? Transshipment hubs are needed when there is no direct connection between the port of origin and the port of destination. Sometimes, the port of destination is not capable of handling very large ships, which means cargo has to be transferred to a smaller ship which is moved to the destination port. Therefore, essentially, transshipment means unloading cargo from one large ship and loading it onto another, usually a smaller ship, and then taking it to the destination port. This intermediate location where the transfer of cargo happens is called transshipment hub. Transshipment can be time-consuming, but it helps bring down costs for freight forwarders. The busiest transshipment ports of the world. Port of Singapore is the world's busiest transshipment port, accounting for 20% of global transshipment traffic. It is connected with 600 ports across 123 countries. The Port of Busan, South Korea, operated by the government of Korea, handles approximately 9 million TEUs of transshipment cargo per year. Port of Shenzhen in China connects 100 countries with more than 300 shipping routes. Some of the other busiest transshipment ports in the world are the Port of Shanghai, China, Port of Hong Kong and Guangzhou Port, which is connected with over 300 ports in more than 100 countries. Why India needs a transshipment port? India's 7,500-kilometer long coastline is dotted with around 200 major and minor ports. However, most Indian ports have a shallow draft, which means that water level cannot support large, heavy ships. Therefore, goods headed for India have to be routed through transshipment ports and transported on smaller ships to India. Currently, India's dependence on these transshipment ports is very high. Ports like Colombo in Sri Lanka, Jebel Ali in Dubai, Port of Singapore, and Port of Klang in Malaysia handle over 85% of this cargo. Colombo Port alone handles 45% of India's transshipped consignments. For India, having a transshipment port can mean big business for Indian ports as well as make logistics simpler for exporters and importers. With its own transshipment ports, India can grab a portion of the transshipment business going to Dubai, Sri Lanka, and Singapore. Vizhinjam Port, a dream come true. India's long-felt need to have its own transshipment hub is finally coming true, thanks to the newly opened port. Located on the outskirts of Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. 11th July, this year, the port welcomed container ship MV San Fernando from China. San Fernando is owned by China's SFL Corporation Limited, one of the world's largest shipping companies, and the ship has a total capacity of 8,000 to 9,000 TEUs. The entire exercise was part of a trial run to check the ship docking and cargo handling efficiency of Vizhinjam Port. Vizhinjam Port is India's largest deep-water transshipment port and is being developed by Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone Limited, India's largest port developer and part of Adani Group. The project is being developed under a public-private partnership model at a cost of around Rs 8,867 crore. Before we go further, let's get into a brief history of India's largest transshipment project. Construction of Vizhinjam Port was initiated in 2015 by the Congress-led United Democratic Front government. Pinarayi Vijayan, Kerala's chief minister since 2016, took the project forward amidst strong local resistance. In April 2024, Vizhinjam gets Shipping Ministry's approval to operate as India's first transshipment port. First phase to be completed by May 2025. Phase 2 to Phase 4 to be completed by 2028 to 2029. The project was allotted to Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone Limited on 5 December 2015, after the government of Kerala and Adani's Vizhinjam Port Private Limited agreed to a concession agreement on 17 August 2015. A statement by Karan Adani, Managing Director of Adani Ports and SEZ, published in the Economic Times, by 2028 to 29, when all 4 phases of this project are completed, the Kerala government and Adani Vizhinjam Port will have invested a total of Rs 20,000 crore in this outstanding example of a large-scale public-private partnership project. So, what is the capacity Vizhinjam can handle? In its initial phase, the port's capacity is set to accommodate 1 million TEUs, with an additional 6.2 million TEUs planned for subsequent phases. A 20-foot equivalent unit or TEU is the standard size of a container and a common measure of capacity in the container shipping business. Vizhinjam is also India's first semi-automated port, equipped with modern equipment and advanced automation and IT systems and advanced container handling technologies and faster vehicle turnaround times. Does Vizhinjam have strategic advantages? Let's understand dredging first. Dredging is an exercise which maintains or increases the depth of berthing areas at ports or areas where ships are anchored. This is important because large ships need a certain depth of water in order to keep floating and not to touch the bottom. Dredging is a very capital-intensive exercise in shipping. Vizhinjam has an advantage here. Studies conducted at Vizhinjam have shown that the port has a natural depth of up to 23 meters to accommodate the biggest ships in the world. A mere dredging of 5 to 6 meters at Vizhinjam can make it capable of accommodating even the biggest ship in the world. As per information from vizhinjamport.org, a port constructed here can easily accommodate ships with displacements of up to 300,000 tons, with little or no dredging. Comparatively, most of the current ports find it difficult to accommodate ships of even 200,000 tons even after massive dredging. Vizhinjam Port is designed to have about 30 berths, most of which will be capable of handling mother vessels or very large ships, say carrying thousands of containers. Vizhinjam has a great location advantage too. Situated near the southernmost tip of India, Vizhinjam's biggest advantage is its proximity to the international shipping route connecting Europe, the Persian Gulf, and the Far East. Domestically, the port will be well connected to a 4-lane NH66 highway and proposed freight corridors. The port is just 16 kilometers from Trivandrum International Airport. Why is Vizhinjam the port of the future? Maritime India Vision 2030 that seeks to develop world-class megaports, transshipment hubs and modernize infrastructure at an estimated investment of Rs 1.25 lakh crore. When the Vizhinjam port becomes fully operational, it is expected that at least 50% of the nearly 20,000 ships that pass through the Suez Canal per annum will anchor at Vizhinjam port. If all goes well, the ports of Colombo, Singapore, and Dubai might face serious competition from India. With a boost in commercial activities and trade, it is estimated that India could save more than $100 million a year in terms of foreign exchange. The port will also be a boost to India's ambitions to become an alternative manufacturing destination to China. Lower logistic and shipping costs and greater cargo and container capacity are beneficial for domestic manufacturers, exporters as well as importers. Experts say the timing is just right for Vizhinjam to open up for business because existing transshipment hubs like Singapore are currently facing increased volumes and massive congestion because of the ongoing Red Sea crisis. While Vizhinjam has many advantages to its side and can generate massive employment opportunities for the local population, its success will depend on important factors like offering highly competitive tariffs and high-quality, tech-enabled services while keeping operating costs under control. Vizhinjam has all the right ingredients. However, whether the port will be a great success story is yet to be seen. Stay tuned. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching.